Goals are like ketchup. Now, that's exactly what Cristiano Ronaldo said once upon a time, and he really needs that ketchup bottle to be opened for his sake and his team's sake at this year's World Cup. Because remember, Portugal in their opening game drew 1-1 to Dr. Congo, DR Congo, jokes apart, and all the headlines for the wrong reasons was Ronaldo. Right now, we're 20 minutes or 25 minutes away from kickoff for the second game. And I just wanted to pour my thoughts out as a Ronaldo fan, as a Portugal fan, and so on and so forth. Now, why do I support Portugal? Not because of Ronaldo. I started watching international football around 2002, 2003, and I really looked at that side, and the makeup of that side was just vibes. I mean, I didn't know any of those players in terms of the club that they were representing at the point in time. Talk about Rui Costa, Ricardo, Paulinho, Nuno Gomez, Manish. There were tons of them. And hence, the little Cristiano Ronaldo love became even more evident because he joined United, then, of course, played for Portugal. But ever since I've seen him don those colours for Portugal, he's just been brilliant. Most number of international caps, most international goals. And I know he's far, far away from what Messi did and what Messi's doing at World Cups. But I'm sure he will have to have his say tonight to just stamp his authority on what's been a phenomenal football career. I generally feel if you look at Ronaldo and how he's kind of gone through ups and downs, it's been well documented. But here, right now, it is for his team to shine and him to shine. Now, what's my take on him, whether he needs to start this particular World Cup? Lots of people have been saying he's costing Portugal. He's 41. At the end of the day, he's the oldest player to take part in the World Cup. And it's not every day that you'll see a team go in with a 41-year-old striker. Sometimes you see a 41-year-old goalkeeper or a centre-back, but even it's a rarity nowadays to see those positions be filled with veterans, so to speak. But Ronaldo has been backed by his manager, Roberto Martinez. He's been backed pretty much by his entire team. His country, though, and I was reading some of the newspapers from Europe today via the internet, of course, and a lot of people are saying the captain is under fire, which is, of course, Ronaldo. And it makes you think whether he can now get the best of himself, because we've seen what he's done for Al Nassr, albeit it's a Saudi league. We've seen what he's done for the qualifying bit for Portugal. And even though he kind of played teams like Armenia, did get the goals. Now, he did go goalless in those two warm-up games before the World Cup. And he's not scored in the last 10 games in an international tournament, apart from what the last time he scored was that 2022 Ghana penalty. So it just makes you think about whether Ronaldo will probably silence his critics tonight. I certainly hope he does, because make no mistake, guys, this man lit up my childhood, and I love him for all the right reasons. I know many people would like that comparison of Messi and Ronaldo, and I don't want to get into it because they're both different players. One's human, one's not human, for starters. And I think if you look at hard work and if you look at every particular footballer growing up right now, they probably want to model their game around Ronaldo in terms of diet, focus, determination, great hunger, so on and so forth. Messi's just blessed. But coming back to whole Ronaldo saga with him not starting or starting, it's simple. I think they should start him. I'm not saying that from a biased perspective. I know many people have labeled him as selfish. There was that pass where he could have probably left it for Bruno, but he thought he could take it in his stride. Wasn't a beat. 3 shots, none on target, I should say. And Portugal also looked very passive. I'm hoping that they do turn the corner today, because they have an incredible midfield three. Let's make no mistake. João Neves, Bruno Fernandes, and Vitinha is the best that you can get in the world today. Now, with that front three ahead of them, which is Leao, Conceição, and Ronaldo, it just makes you think how they're not getting 4 or 5 every game. Now, one particular facet is the manager, and Roberto Martinez has probably sometimes been labeled as the Belgian Gareth Southgate. But if you actually look at the personnel at the Portuguese disposal, it's quality. Bernardo Silva had to be taken off at halftime last time because I think he was in a yellow card as well. But he's going to be an important player for them if they do go deep in the tournament. And Roberto Martinez has backed Ronaldo in various press conferences. The latest quote coming from him was to do with Ronaldo stretching out the opposition defenses much more than the other 2 strikers. And there was data to apparently suggest that. But reading so much of it in the last 3-4 days, whether it's ex-United players like Paul Scholes has had to say, Rio's had a say, and both contrasting, of course. Then you look at what, say, Zlatan, Henry, the rest of the pundits in the world are saying about Cristiano Ronaldo at this point in time. And it is for him to really stand up. Sure, there will be people even saying, oh, finally he scored, but against Uzbekistan. So there will always be that if and but with Ronaldo, whether he gets a hat trick today or he ends up winning the World Cup, there will always be some sort of thing to be said about him because he just garners headlines, right? So I think Ronaldo should definitely start, not just today because he's guaranteed confirmed on the starting 11 sheet, but going forward as well. If you look at the inverted wingers of Portugal, if they can just probably try to pop in the crosses much earlier than normally waiting and chinking and dinking in and out, I think there will be much more service for Ronaldo. He's a guy who thrives of service. We saw that even with United at times where he wasn't getting that many good deliveries into the box, but he did make the most of it. And I feel Bruno Fernandes is going to be an absolute pivotal cog in this wheel. I love Bruno. I feel Bruno is my favorite player right now on the planet, barring Ronaldo. But if he can really orchestrate things, not just for the front three, but for Ronaldo as well, it'll be absolutely brilliant to see. So let me know what you guys think in terms of today's game. If Portugal are going to win, whether they're going to go deep in the tournament, because as it stands right now, if they finish second and England top their group, it's England-Portugal, which will be mad to see in the round of 32, let alone the knockout stages. I mean, round of 32 does qualifies at knockout stage, but you guys know what I mean. But Ronaldo, for me, my heart's going to be in my mouth today. I mean, let's make no mistake about it. I feel I've seen this guy so many times. There have been times where he has been very, very woeful. There have been times where he's been phenomenal. And I'm hoping at the twilight of his career, he has one more last hurrah, one more last dance. And I would love to see him thrive in the big stage like how he always has. Now, can he deliver a World Cup for Portugal? It's going to be insane. Like, this is the guy who's taken Portugal to their first ever trophy in 2016 in the Euros. He won, of course, another trophy for them not too long ago. But now all eyes are on this tournament and this man and this group stage, because the opener, which was 1-1, drew a lot of headlines, like I said at the top of the show. So it just makes you think how he's going to go about it. Let me confirm the Portugal team news for you because it's unchanged by the looks of it. And there were so many articles that I was reading in terms of Portugal are hoping to avoid a 2010 repeat, for example, because I think Ronaldo, even in that World Cup in Africa, didn't really score the goals that he would have liked. He did dazzle and display moments of brilliance, but no end product, so to speak. And again, you open Twitter, you open Reddit, you open YouTube, you'll probably see a thumbnail or a text somewhere saying, how do you solve the Ronaldo problem? And lots of people have had their say. The fact that whether he's a hindrance to this team, he's gone, like I said, 10 consecutive games in major tournaments without finding a net, the back of the net, I should say. And it just remains to be seen all about the service that he gets today. Because ultimately, Cristiano Ronaldo is a guy who has made his game all about in the penalty box. I mean, sure, he started off as a winger and he was brilliant with his step overs and he modeled his game in a different dimension when he went to Madrid and then Juve and Al Nassr and so on and so forth. But right now, it's all about predatorial instincts in the box. Can he deliver for his particular team? He's mentally messed up about 18 goals. That's always going to be there because he's openly admitted it as well with regards to his rivalry with Lionel Messi. Both of them have shared the stage for 15, 20 years, and it's no joke. I mean, what they've done in football, let alone other sports is incredible. The numbers they were churning out in their peak, and we've just been lucky to live in this era. And as sport goes on and fans go on, you'll always have a like and dislike, maybe not a despise, but a dislike towards the opposition and their players. Now, I've been a United fan growing up, and I know why I didn't like Messi, maybe purely because he denied us 2 Champions League titles, but I don't ever have the feeling where I say things like Messi is shit, right? Messi can't be shit. Even if you hate him, if you think Messi is shit, you're basically not a fan of football, as simply put. And likewise, if you're a Messi fan and you say Ronaldo is shit, you're speaking utter garbage. Because here's a man who's prided himself upon pure fitness, pure hunger, and it's paid dividends in how. I mean, not just of what he's gone on to achieve in his illustrious football career, but even the goal tally. And he's what, 29 or 28 or 27 away from 1,000 goals. And I'm pretty sure he'd reach that feat before he hangs up his boots in one way or the other. And it just makes me think about Cristiano Ronaldo and his storied legacy. Whether this will be another feather in his cap, whether it'll be a sad ending to his international career. I hope not. I really hope not. But like someone said in the comments, Messi's definitely played in his mind. And it's 2 weeks running right now that Messi, Mbappe, Haaland, all the big boys have turned up and scored for their teams. Now Ronaldo needs to do that for his team. And he's on that team sheet purely to score goals. And like I started off this podcast by saying, goals are like ketchup. Once they come, it is an overflow. And that's exactly what the main man said. I think earlier this year or last year, but he was just kind of giving a example of how goals can be dry and run up, but when it comes in abundance. So from his perspective, hoping fireworks galore. From Portugal perspective, hoping fireworks galore, because here's a team that I really want to win the World Cup. And there was another guy who asked me when I was shooting content in the street, saying, would you like it if Portugal win the World Cup but Ronaldo doesn't start any game? And I would take it, absolutely, because I'm a guy who will always put the team over the player. And sure, I like players like Ronaldo, I like players like Virat, and I want them to do well. But sometimes a team does come above them. And if they're part of the success, it's a double cherry on the cake. So can't really dissect too much from here on. I'm just hoping he does get up and running on that score sheet, because it's far too long to see a good player like him not get amongst it. It's already been a phenomenal World Cup, by the way. The US, Mexico, and Canada are putting up a real show. Any game I've tuned into, I've genuinely loved it. I was watching Belgium, Iran. It was a 0-0, but it was a 0-0 win for Iran in many ways. And the color, the vibrancy in the stadium, I like how the players walk out. I like how the flags unfurl. There's so much to talk about in this World Cup, let alone the hydration breaks. And I think I'm going to set aside a special podcast just for that and the craziness that we've seen this World Cup compared to the ones which have gone by. So, look, let's see how it all unfolds in a bit. I keep looking in the left because I am in my friend's house today because I played pickleball, did some fun stuff for another channel which will come out shortly. I'm in my post pickleball sweaty jacket mode, so I had to really conjure up this life from there. But hope you guys have a good World Cup viewing tonight. Some cracking games. England, Ghana, followed by, of course, Portugal, Uzbekistan. And my money is in Portugal and England. Both those are my teams. I have an underdog team in Japan purely because of the jersey and the country that they are. I'm backing them to do something good. But like I said, the World Cup is just starting off. Argentina are there. Germany are punching heavy like they've always been, and like the last two World Cups. France will, of course, be the talk of the town, and so will Spain. So lots to like, lots to love. And if you guys haven't been liking my content on YouTube, please do, because I know you guys give me enormous love and support on Instagram. If you guys can do that on YouTube, it will mean a lot to me. So do that, and I shall be back with more. Hopefully, the next time you guys see me, there'll be a big beaming smile on my face with Ronaldo probably getting a goal, or this case, I would take even an assist by the looks of things. Right. That's all I have time for in this little 15-minute podcast. More to come. Tomorrow I have a different topic. I don't want to give it away just yet, but subscribe, press the bell icon so you guys stay up to date with all the notifications coming through from the Heck Day Everyday Live YouTube page. And don't write Ronaldo off. Do not write any great player off. Write them off at your own peril, like they always say. It's a cliched sporting adage. So let's wait and watch. Portugal, Uzbekistan, all eyes on Ronaldo. And that's my take. I think there are greater things to come. Just watch this space. Cheers, guys. I'll see you soon. Hope you enjoyed that.